So here we are at Dining Table Movie Productions, and we're going to start a long tail cast on to make the entrelac hat. And you just make a slip knot in your yarn, put your 2 needles through, and just treat them as if they were 1 needle. And the long tail cast on is up the thumb, down the index finger, and bring it through, and then snug it down. Up the thumb, down the index finger, drop it and snug it up. And basically you're just taking your fingers, if you turn the needle sideways you can see how the yarn comes off in 2 directions. Put your thumb and your index finger in the middle, and then grab the yarn with your other fingers and then spread it apart. Up the thumb, down the forefinger, snug it up. Up the thumb, down the forefinger, snug it up. And we're going to need 12 stitches on each needle out of the 3 that you're working. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we'll take 2 more needles. Same thing, fingers, grab it with the rest. Up the thumb, down the forefinger, and snug it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I like to count 2, 4, 6, 10, 12 before I move on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, now I'm going to take 1 needle from each of these to cast on my final needle. So I'm still working over 2 needles, but these have a tendency to slide out, so you want to grab onto them. Oops. Okay. 1, 2. It helps that you have 2 in the one that you're working with, so you can tell which one you're supposed to be casting on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, now we're going to pull this out, and we have 3 needles, single needles, each with 12 stitches on it. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have all your stitches going around without being twisted. So you can see here they're not twisted. And I have to turn this around because I'm going to be picking up the needle attached back to the ball and starting my first round. So make sure you figure out which piece is attached to the ball and which piece is the end of your tail. And you want to break off the tail so you don't get confused. Leave about 8 inches. Or less if you happen to have screwed up and broken it off a little shorter. Again, we're checking, making sure that the needles, that the stitches aren't twisted. And we're picking up the yarn that goes back to the ball. And we're just going to start knitting in the round. So you take your 4th needle, and for the hat or for the entrelac mitts, and I've got the right number of stitches for the mitts on here, your first 5 rows are going to be knit 1 and snug it up real good after you get that first stitch so you don't have a hole. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And you're going to keep going all the way around with that until you have 5 rows of knit 1, purl 1. Now, through the miracles of video, we have 5 rows of ribbing, and we're going to do the 1 round of straight knitting, and we're going to decrease 2 stitches on each needle for a total of 6 stitches decreased, and that will leave us with 30 stitches on our round. So I usually try to knit 2 stitches together so that the first of the 2 stitches is a knit, because that makes it a little easier to pick up. There's first decrease on this needle. And now I'll make another decrease on this needle and finish it off. And move on to the next needle. And again, making my decrease where the first of the 2 stitches, or the stitch to the farthest left, is a knit stitch. And a second decrease. And the last needle. Here we go. All right, now we have 30 stitches